Well, of course, the military has now taken over in Burkina Faso, dissolved the parliament and even shut down their borders. Well, for more on this, let's now bring in a Rise News analyst, Mahmud Jega, who joins us now. Thank you so much, Mahmud. You know, the last time we were talking about Mali, and here we are, Burkina Faso, another coup. What is responsible for all these coups that we're seeing right now in Africa? We thought we'd gone past that era.
We thought so, but it looks like after more than 20 years of experimenting with liberal democracy, it is unraveling very fast in many African countries. This is the fifth coup in West and Central Africa. You know, there was Guinea, there was Mali, there was Sudan, there was Chad, and now there is Burkina Faso. And the problems boil down to two, as far as I can see. The insecurity situation. You see, these young men in Burkina Faso are blaming the former president for inability to stem the jihadist attacks. And they also said he was unable to unite the people, well, which is related because people were demonstrating on the streets against him, just like in Mali and also in Guinea. So, you know, unfortunately, insecurity is such that you would have thought that ideally, if a president is not performing, citizens will wait for the next election to vote him out. But you know where lives are involved. These jihadis are overrunning large parts of Burkina Faso. People are dying every day. In that kind of situation, you can hardly ask people to wait until the next election.
Yeah, waiting until the next election doesn't look feasible here because the president has resigned, is still under house arrest. But you want to look at the coup antecedent in West Africa, and you liken it that it's, you know, the French West Africa, the Francophone countries, that all these are happening. Is it because of the poverty? Is it because of poor leadership and the rest? When you had the most popular liberator then, late Thomas Captain Sankara, succeeded by his best friend, Blaise Compaoré, who himself was booted out, you know.
Yeah, well, actually, Burkina Faso has had a long history of bloody military coups since the 1960s. The killing of Sankara was probably the worst in 1987, which was what really caused consternation all over the world because he was such a promising leader. And Blaise Compaoré too, who overthrew him and ruled for 27 years, as this young man is saying. In the end, he was also chased out by a popular uprising. But you know, in some cases, like in Guinea, it is seat-tightism. The president amended the constitution more or less illegally and wanted to rule beyond the term limits. The same thing in Sudan. Because President Umar Hassan al-Bashir was there for 20-something years and he had no intention of leaving. In the case of Mali and in Burkina Faso, it is mostly the insecurity brought by the jihadist insurgency that has made those countries very unstable. So it's a very big challenge because unfortunately the same problem affects other.
Absolutely. I was going to ask you about its impact, and also let's marry it with the fact that the people of Burkina Faso, they've been on the streets since November of last year. I remember the protests even turned bloody, and I know that you know, the authorities, even before Saturday, there was a planned protest which they banned, which eventually we have seen the military take over right now. Let's talk about its implication on West Africa, and also marry that with ECOWAS as a body. What more can they do aside, you know, condemnation that we always see when this happens? Honestly,
well, beyond condemnation, I suspect what will happen very soon is suspending Burkina Faso from ECOWAS. Okay, they will probably send a delegation, demand an immediate restoration of the detained president. Luckily, he was not killed. He was only arrested and detained. And if the military leaders do not agree to restore him immediately, then ECOWAS will suspend Burkina Faso as it has suspended Mali and also Guinea. Chad and Sudan, because they are outside ECOWAS, but the African Union as well as the UN, everybody is condemning. But I agree with you entirely that beyond condemnation, we have to find a larger solution because very soon the majority of ECOWAS member states will even be
exactly could be engulfed.
Exactly.
Well, definitely not in a place like Nigeria, where the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Rabo, has pledged the loyalty of the armed forces of Nigeria to the
Democracy,
to democracy and the democratically elected government. But beyond the implications here on West Africa is that the new coup plotters, the spokesman say, they want to rebuild Burkina Faso. What have been the minuses here? What are they rebuilding?
You know, the most important thing is to restore security and defeat the insurgents. But of course, as we know, the insurgents have overrun huge parts of Mali and also some parts of Niger, which are to the north and to the west of Burkina Faso. So slowly, because they are not stopped there, they have now spilled over into Burkina Faso. Now, these young people, maybe they may do better than the civilian president, but they will need a lot of outside help to defeat the insurgency. I think they will need a lot because it's almost a worldwide, this is what
phenomenon.
Yeah.
Exactly, a phenomenon. Many,
well.
even much bigger and more powerful countries like Nigeria have not been able to defeat the jihadist insurgency.
All right, thanks so very much for sharing your insights into the latest interregnum again in Francophone
Democracy is
West
definitely
Africa.
being threatened in Africa.
Yeah, particularly in West Africa. Mahmud Jega, Arise News Analyst.